Imagine you have the power to see through every person's mind, every corner, every desire, capacity, their strength and weaknesses. You then discover that one person has the potential to be the cruelest criminal and can be a threat to the world and society. The thing is, this person hasn't done any crime. In fact, quite the opposite. You can see that he's a part of society, has a loving family, and is a really nice person. Now, the question is, what will you do? You know it's a threat, but has done nothing bad. Will you let him be? Or will you take him out now, before anything happens? What will you do? Or what is the correct thing to do? It's been a while since I watched a police anime, and if you think about it, they are not that common. The most iconic ones I can think about are Death Note and Detective Conan. Well, I'm speaking of experience. Maybe there are a lot more, and that's pretty interesting because the Western television is packed with a ton of crime or police shows. As for movies, and every show with a different genre, like comedy, thriller, drama. But Psychopaths, it's different in a way because it makes a twist, and that's the dilemma I was talking about. It should be said that it's not the only one with this kind of twist. It's similar in a way to Minority Report and Blade Runner. And if you like those movies, stay because I know this will grab your attention. And if it does, consider to subscribe to the channel. Going back to the questions at the beginning of the video, I know that it's your typical dilemma that teachers ask you in school, but it's quite interesting how Psychopaths takes it. Psychopaths takes place in modern Japan, where it's controlled by a modern computer network called Sybil. Sybil can judge every person's mind and measures it with their crime coefficient, or Psychopaths practically marks every citizen with a number, and if this number surpasses a certain range, it can end in two outcomes: arrest this guy and put him in therapy, or just take down the threat. Yikes! And with this premise you follow Inspector Akane Tsunemori, who is new in the job and also quite innocent, who follows her sense of justice, and because of that, she gets in a lot of trouble with her job and coworkers. She works in the Ministry of Welfare Public Safety Bureau's Criminal Investigation Department, or just it. This organization works with the enforcement, people who have their crime coefficient high but are treated as hound dogs to catch everyone with high coefficient. The best way to catch a criminal is using a criminal, fight fire with fire, and that's how the story unfolds. You can imagine it's a quiet ride. You'll find a lot of existential dilemmas, and the philosophy behind it's fantastic. The only downside is that the show is a little slow, and well, that's because it sticks to the manga pretty well, and some other details that I'll explain later. As you can see, this anime is really brutal. It has many gore scenes, nothing exceptional, but it's not for your typical shonen audience. It's funny because when the production started, first they had to establish the world, because it was the most important thing. The settings, the technology, the places, basically the world building. And then they started with the design of the characters. And if you are a long-time anime watcher, you may recognize some of the characters' designs. And that's because Akira Amano was in charge of this. This happened because the world building was a little dark. So to balance this, Akira Amano, or the creator of Reborn, worked in this. You can really see the resemblance of a lot of characters to characters of Reborn. And if you know Reborn, leave a like. The first episode and chapter of Psychopaths is really good, because it gets you really easily into the anime while it explains the rules of this new world you are getting in without any difficulty. It shows you the important things without being too much to take in. It's a really good introduction to this world. And the creativity of the world building, it's amazing. The holograms, the robots, and even the guns are amazing. And not just that, how it works, it's fascinating. This type of guns can paralyze or kill depending on the crime coefficient of the target. That means that if the target does not show a crime coefficient high enough, it can shoot. Obviously, the anime it's way better at showing you the gadgets and technology. Just look at this thing that it's awesome, or look at that room, I really want something like that. The studios behind it are Production IG, the ones behind Haikyuu and Guilty Crown. These guys know their quality and know how to make scenes. For the love of God, look at Haikyuu, that's oof. Oof! It's a really entertaining anime, but it has its downsides sometimes. One is the pacing of the anime, as I said earlier, it's a slow show. You have to invest a lot of time and patience. Sometimes it's repetitive, like the crime western shows where every episode is a case and the protagonist tries to solve it. But there's a story behind that it's developing in the meantime. Maybe it's because it makes a big effort to explain the details and the story that makes it slow. In short words, it's an interesting setting that falls to the same police cliches of all time. I think the best part of the anime are their characters and the mystery of this new world. Every character develops great, and Miyashi does a great job to tell you their backstories and their ambitions. It's often compared to Death Note because of the philosophy behind it. One is a guy who kills criminals with a notebook, and the other one is a computer network judging people. And both makes you the same question. What is the correct thing to do? Or who is correct in this situation? But I think it's not quite in the same level. Death Note tried every episode to be intense and making a progress. God damn it, they succeed to be pretty intense and exciting when Light was eating some chips. And here is a little bit casual. The intensity of the story is being built up across all the episodes, and I have to say, it's worth it. You just need a little bit of patience. And that's why you should watch Psychopaths. Maybe it's not what you were looking for. Maybe you want something more casual like a romance story. I recommend watching Why You Should Watch Horimiya. Go watch it. It's in the channel, and I'll see you in the next one.